Next question, and we'll start with you this time, Scott Dailey, since you have the microphone. Scott, both of you actually, I'll address this to both of you. Each have a minute to answer. You both seem very busy. Scott, you run a busy business. John Brady, you're an attorney, and other things that you do make you very busy. Which one of you could devote the most time in the office of Recorder of Deeds? And part B, how much time is this going to take?
The answer is, one of the things that I've been saying, and I will continue to say consistently, is that I will establish regular, consistent office hours where I am there. My business, running Capstone Homes, does keep me busy, but it's a management position. It's about being able to delegate and keep a lot of different balls in the air at the same time. I will take the time that needs to be taken in order to be there, to be a hands-on manager. I'm running a company now. We have literally hundreds of people that are working for us as subcontractors that are local folks working in Sussex County, and I'm committed to being in the office on a consistent basis every week, even every day if necessary, to make sure that the thing is running as efficiently and as effectively as possible.
All right. John, same question.
Well, I have been. I've been doing it for 8 years. And there was a time I spent a couple weeks in BB Hospital after I got sick last year, and I was in constant phone contact with the office. One of the things I do is I prepare the budget for the office. I review the budget weekly to make sure we're on track. I look at the hours that the staff is doing. I have a really good chief deputy who manages, but when there's an issue, I'm there. And I'm in there frequently because when I'm next door in court, I get done with court, I come through the office and check things. I was there today for an hour working on stuff. In fact, last week I came in out of court and you were visiting with some people in there. So I'm in that office very frequently. I hear that everyone says, you're not in the office enough. One of the county council candidates is here, who used to be the county personnel director, knows I was hands-on personnel from the day I took over that office till the day he retired. That's how I do it. I'm hands-on. You may not see my big body in there, but I'm there.
We'll give it a little extra time if there's any discussion at all to be had on this topic. Is there anything else you'd like to say in rebuttal or add to that, Scott or John? Scott?
Well, I do think it is an issue of being there. And one of the things in my conversations with the community that interacts with the Recorder of Deeds office, which are title searchers who work for attorneys' offices. They do a lot of the recording and a lot of the searching if you're refinancing your home or you're purchasing a new property. These are some of the behind-the-scenes folks that are getting your settlement ready and all that. And I was in there. I've been in regular contact with a number of different attorneys' offices who employ those title searchers. And there are things that, from their perspective, that can be improved. I've spoken with some county employees who have also come to me and expressed an idea that were I to be elected, that there were some certain changes that I could make. And I think, again, it's that private sector experience of when you build a home for someone, a home is a complicated process. The Recorder of Deeds is a complicated process. I've been able to understand that, and by the grace of God, I've been blessed and able to manage that effectively. And I think I understand customer service, and I think we can do a better job.
Well, respectfully, I disagree. I think the shop is running very well, and we've been working on it very hard for the 8 years I got in there. Upgrading the computer was not an overnight system. We have laws that we have to follow and ordinances. I had to send out contracts, send out bidding, and to review it. Every time we did something, we moved forward. In fact, when we did the deeds online and implemented all those programs last year, the person who I thought could give me the best impact on transparency in government is one of your favorite callers, Dan Kramer. So I asked Dan, what would you like to see in having the online deeds? And he told me, I want to be able to look up the records for free. I want to see the index, and if I want to buy a record, I should be able to buy it. But I shouldn't have to buy it to look up the index. That's why the index is free for the online deeds back in 1899, because Dan Kramer said that would be something for good government, and I listened to people. Some of the title searchers are unhappy at me. I understand that. I locked the door so they couldn't walk through and use the fax machine for free, so they couldn't use the photocopy machine for free, so they couldn't do other things and go back and look at recorded documents that we have in safekeeping until they're cleared. I felt that you need to secure the area. I also put security cameras up because sometimes there were issues with documents missing. And so there are a lot of things since I got elected the Register and Chancery in 2001. It took office in 2001. We had a thing called 9/11. And I've upgraded a lot of the security measures that I don't put out in public. Why? To protect the records and do the best job possible for the users and the taxpayers of Sussex County.
Anything else, Scott?
I think, I'm glad to hear that you mentioned that you've run the office in a manner that you seem effective. And to dig a little deeper into the numbers, and I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but the Office of Recorder of Deeds is a tremendous revenue generator for Sussex County. Give you an example, in 2004, just in total gross revenue, this is not what the county got to keep, but in total office money that came through the office, it was over 5.7, it was almost $5.8 million. And in that year, they recorded almost 70,000 documents and had an operating budget close to $1.2 million. Well, in 2009, which were the last year that the county audits are available, right now the county's in fiscal year 2011, we had an operating budget of about almost $1.3 million, but we only brought in about $3.5 million. And that's largely due to the real estate crash, and we recorded 48,000 documents in the Recorder of Deeds office. So for the same money in 2004, we spent 1.2. In 2009, we spent 1.3, but there was 20,000 fewer documents that went through the office. And I think this is something, again, with my private sector experience, we have to learn to live within the means of the company, and that's how I've had to operate. And I think that the budget numbers in terms of the revenue is down somewhere between 2002 and 2003 levels, but the expenses are much higher.
Let's let John respond to that.
Well, if you look at those numbers, you're actually comparing apples and oranges, but I'll try and do that real easy for you. In 2004, my personnel costs were less. My health care costs were less. My pension costs were less. Then the federal government Congress passed a law saying we had to fully fund the pension. So I had at that point 18 employees, and the pension costs went up. Integra, who provides the health insurance for Sussex County, between those time periods doubled their cost, just about doubled their cost for health care. So we had those increases, and I tried to cut back on the positions to attrition. We had some people that retired during that time period, and we were able to, one person transferred to another department. But you can't estimate how many documents you're going to get in when you're going through such a housing crisis that we did. So we all tightened our belts. In the fiscal year 2010 numbers, which I do have, the unaudited final results, show that the budget was $1.189 million and the costs were $1.021 million. So I came in $179,000 below my budget for last year, and my fiscal year 11 budget is $1.089 million. I cut it by about $100,000 to start with, and we're probably going to come in another $50,000 below that. Okay. But we're picking up on documents.
All right, and Scott, just a few seconds if you have anything else to say on this topic, or we can move on.
Well, I think that, again, it's the difference between someone who spent a lot of time working in the public sector versus someone who spent very little time working in the public sector. Is every time that the government doesn't shrink in line with revenues, there's a reason why the government had to have more. And as a conservative, as a Republican, I don't believe the government had to have more.
Let's look at the future of this office. If you are elected, what will this office look like in another year or two? What improvements, if any, would you make? And John Brady, you're first.
Sure. In 2007, I worked with the legislature to pass Title 25, Chapter 1, Sections 180, which was the Electronic Recording Act. I brought a copy of it here tonight. And what I'm waiting for in order to get to e-filing up is Section 184 of the Delaware Code. The Electronic Recording Commission will adopt the statewide standards and will be appointed by the Secretary of State. I'm on the commission, I'm waiting for the final report. I upgraded the software 2 years ago, so the minute the final standards are in place, electronic recording or e-filing will be open. That will allow documents to come from attorneys' offices into a dedicated workstation, reviewed, have the deed book and number placed on it electronically, the money debited from the checking accounts, and then the documents returned back. So we'll have basically same day or next day return of the documents. That's the last step in getting the electronic recording done.
Thank you, and that's time. Scott, same question for you. The future of the Recorder of Deeds office?
I think you're going to see the office run much more efficiently. If I'm elected to the Recorder of Deeds, we're going to work again to get a handle on expenses, find other ways to generate revenue and be more interactive with the legal community, with Superior Court, with the county administrator, to continue to make the Recorder of Deeds a place where those documents are preserved. We're going to continue the process of bringing those documents online, at the same time protecting the security of the people to whom those documents are connected in terms of mortgages and things like that we don't want complete transparency of some of those records so easily attainable online for things like identity theft and things like that. I think you're going to also continue to see ways that we can take the Recorder of Deeds office and maximize revenue, because maximizing revenue for the residents of Sussex County allows the county council to make decisions for funding for police officers, paramedics, libraries, things we need.
Okay, time, thank you.